In Psalm chapter 73, we read the psalmist struggling with the thought. What was he struggling about? It's a struggle that you and I also have at times. He could not take it, nor could he understand how the wicked are prospering. He was upset and troubled with God of why the wicked are prospering. You must be having the same right when you look all around you and you are in trouble and you look people who are wicked, people who are living a life far from God, living a life of sin, they are prospering, and you, at times, we feel we are in trouble, we are surrounded by crisis after crisis. That's what he says in Psalms chapter 73. When we read in verse 13, he says, "All in vain have I kept my heart clean and washed my hands in innocence. For all day long I have been stricken and rebuked every morning." You see, every day he was struggling with this thought. But then the moment he opened his spiritual eyes and began to see things from God's perspective, he began to understand that the earthly gains are temporary. The struggles of the wicked, the inner man that's in turmoil, oh my God, you know exactly the struggles that people go through on the inside, right? On the outside, everything seems perfect. They seem to be traveling in the best of cars. They may be having the best of brands, but the struggle of the mind, the struggle of the emotions, it's common to all. But for us who are connected to God, we see the psalmist at the end, he opens up his spiritual eyes and understands the truth. At the end, he writes in Psalms chapter 73 verse 27, "For behold, those who are far from you," that means far from God, "shall perish. You put an end to everyone who is unfaithful to you. But for me, it is good to be near God. I have made the Lord God my refuge, that I may tell of all your works." You see, he begins to declare that the wicked, they will perish one day. But for me, he says, I delight to be with you. It is good I'm near you, because I will declare your works. Now we know that God's works over our lives are always good. In the Psalms, he writes that God has stored good for those who fear him, for those who love him. So for us who are connected to God, one thing we can stay assured, that God's goodness will be made manifest over our lives. And God's goodness is not just the materialistic things, but it's a wholesome blessing. That means God looks after our soul, our emotions, the thoughts that we have, the struggles in our hearts. He looks at everything all around us and develops us, works it all or turns it all for our good. So he gives us a good mind, a sound mind. He takes care of our emotions, heals our inner man, heals all our pain. And not just there, he also blesses us with the best. The best is always kept for us. And once again, Romans 8 says all things will work together for good. So when you look at the wicked prospering, don't be upset. Don't be envious of them. Don't be troubled that they are getting it all and you are just going through a very oppressing time. Keep pressing on in God. Your time will come when God will suddenly lift you up, and you will realize that when he lifts you up, he takes care of your mind, your will, your emotion, as well as things all around you. God bless you.